Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fight Talks. Today we're gonna be talking about the fight that went down this past Sunday, May the 4th, 2025. And that, of course, is the amazing fight with Naoya the Monster Inoue and Ramon Dinamita Cardenas. This marked the long awaited return of the unified super bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya Inoue. He had not fought in the US since June 2021 when he faced Michael Dasmarinas, which also took place in Las Vegas. I'll be honest, I was a little worried with this fight that it wouldn't live up to the hype, especially after that snooze fest of a sparring match that we saw the night before between Canelo Alvarez and William Skull. You could tell by the crowd's energy just how excited they were to see Naoya Inoue back in the US soil defending his title. The T-Mobile Arena, which is huge, by the way, it's a massive building, was completely packed for this fight. Naoya came into this fight with a record of 20 wins, 0 losses. 26 of those wins were by way of knockout. Ramon Dinamita Cardenas entered the ring with a record of 26 wins, 1 loss. 14 of those wins were by way of knockout. It is safe to say, based on those records, and if you know anything about Naoya Inoue in particular, that both of these guys have enough pop in their punches to knock each other out. In the early rounds, Naoya Inoue came in just as we expected. In the first round, he was aggressive, showing off his speed, his power. He was very aggressive in that first round. Ramon Cardenas, on the other hand, he was a little bit more composed, more cautious. He stayed very calm, very composed, and looked for openings to counterpunch, which is pretty much what he did throughout the fight, and he did it to a decent degree of success. You know, he did land some nice punches. So then in the second round, Cardenas did catch Naoya Inoue with a clean left hook that sent Naoya Inoue to the canvas. This was only the second time in Naoya Inoue's career that he had ever been knocked down. The first time that he was dropped was by Luis Neri back in his home country of Japan, which was also with a left hook in the first round. This one felt eerily similar to that one. After the knockdown, Naoya Inoue adjusted his strategy. He became more cautious, focused more on defense, and picked his shots carefully. By the third round, he had started to take control again, using his sharp stabbing. It was really a stiff jab. It looked almost like a right hand. And also use his combinations to keep Cardenas at bay. Meanwhile, Cardenas, very much like I said earlier, he was still being very composed, picking his shots to counterpunch. And again, he did have a decent degree of success with that. Even catching Naoya Inoue with some good shots that really did seem to bother Naoya Inoue. But in the seventh round, Inoue landed a right hand that dropped Cardenas to the canvas. Up to that point, Cardenas had taken a lot of damage. He did have some success with the counterpunch, as I just said, and landed a few clean shots. But overall, he was in the receiving end on this fight, and clearly losing the fight up to this point. Then in the eighth round, Inoue poured the pressure. He caught him with a flurry of punches that Cardenas did not answer. And he was sort of defenseless in the ropes. And that's where the referee stopped in. 45 seconds into the 8th round, awarding Naoya Inoue a TKO win. Now, there is some controversy about the stoppage. Cardenas himself felt it was too early. You can tell by the expression on his face, by his body language. And some fans agreed. Me personally, I thought it was fair. The ref wasn't just looking at that one moment. He was likely considering all the damage that Cardenas had taken up to that point. Sure, not every punch landed in that last sequence, but enough did. And in most fights, in most cases, when you go and receive a combination like that with so many unanswered shots, the referee, generally speaking, comes in and stops the fight. So I didn't think that was anything particular about it. I do understand, however, that some people do expect a little bit of more leeway when it comes to championship fights. But me personally, I tend to side with being safe. Boxing, we lose too many fighters already. So I cannot fault the referee for that. That said, Cardenas did what William Skull should have done the night before. He came to fight. This guy was up against it. He was up against one of the guys that most people consider to be the top pound for pound fighter of the world. They call him the monster. Nobody gave Cardenas a real shot against Inoue. But he came to fight, he gave a great account of himself, and he tried to win out to the very end. He did not come to just survive and earn a moral victory by surviving all 12 rounds. No, he came to fight, he gave himself a chance to win, and he did. Like he looked pretty good, in my opinion. And he gave us an entertaining fight, which really, we need two people to make a great fight like that. And Cardenas definitely delivered. He gained a fan in me. And I'm sure he gained a fan in many of you guys out there. So even though it was a loss, I thought he gave a great account of himself. And I think we'll see more of Ramon Cardenas going forward. That's all I have for today, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. See you next time. Take care.